everybody. Welcome to another episode of Unqualified Experts. As you can see, we have a new guest today. This is Miss Jenna.
Hello. This is my first ever podcast. So I hope I do a good job.
You're going to do amazing. It's just a conversation. It's just a fun time.
We're giving a bunch of random strangers on the internet some amazing advice from unqualified experts.
Exactly. We have no degrees. We don't know what we're doing here. So this is going to be really fun. Also, I just note that it's summer and the dresses are coming out. It's just sundresses.
Oh my gosh.
It's not really summer, but officially it's summer. It counts.
Oh, it is. It is hot today. What is it, 80 degrees today?
Something like that.
Oh my God.
It's beautiful.
Oh my God. I'm dying.
It's beautiful. I know that this isn't like evergreen content, but I just love that I get to wear dresses again. Okay. We're going to kick things off with a girlfriend that wants her boyfriend to get a tattoo. Okay. Usually, it kind of seems like it's the other way around. They're like,
girlfriend wants boyfriend to get a tattoo. What does the other person's body have anything to do with you?
I don't know.
First off, I'm already salty about this question. I already don't
You're
like
we haven't gotten into this, and I hate it.
Yep.
So my girlfriend and I started dating a few months ago, but we have known each other since we were 10, and I love Caitlin so very much. Wow, this guy's dropping names. And I know she loves me too. Lately, she's been telling me she wants me to get a tattoo. She wants me to get, oh no, one that says Caitlin's dick above my crotch with an arrow pointing down to the base of my penis. Oh God. The problem is I'm terrified of needles and also afraid of the risks like HIV and stuff. She was very insistent though, telling me it would mean a lot to her and asking me to get it as her birthday gift. Caitlin said that if I love her, I would do it for her. It's making me wonder what I should do about this. When I said no, she pouted and asked if I didn't want to make her happy. Oh no.
Okay, so let me dive into this question. I don't care how long you guys are dating. I don't care how long you guys have known each other. The point is you are not married. You are not committed to that person. You're committed, but you're not committed. This person owes you nothing. Do you have joint bank accounts? Is she paying for all of your stuff? Is there a reason that for some, for some issue in your life that you are completely tied to this person?
Also, they're both 18. I feel like I should note that too. They're so young.
Oh, this is a no. Dude, okay, first off, she kind of sounds a little toxic. In the sense. Now, like, we all have our things, but you can never ask another person, especially at that age and that low of a commitment level, to permanently alter their body for you. Do you know how crazy it sounds? The fact that she pouted about it kind of sounds like it's a little manipulative.
A little? A lot.
Okay, I guess I'm putting it out there.
You're being nice.
Yeah, I am.
That was insane. So I'll say this. Nick and I are married. We are committed. We do have joint bank accounts. I do support financially at the moment.
Right.
I would never, ever, ever, ever ask him to get a tattoo or expect him to permanently alter his body. That's insane.
It is crazy. And then the fact that, like, if you were to
insane.
be upset over it, like, okay, my boyfriend and I, we said, now we've almost been together for 2 years. We were 23 years old. And even then, we made it a thing. We're not going to get married or do anything until we're like 30. Because we want to make sure if we actually like each other that much until we're 30, like, we live together already. We pay bills together already. We do everything together already. Like, I don't see the issue. It's basically like we're married. Yeah. I'm serious. It's like we're married. We're living together and everything else. And we said, if we're ever going to do anything or get matching tattoos, because we already discussed one matching tattoo, we're on the same page on what it's going to be, and it's going to be 15 years down the line.
That makes sense. I mean, that makes sense. If you, the fact that you have that planned out, and also tattoos, they're not quite the permanent thing that they used to be. You can get them removed. It's painful, it's expensive, and it doesn't always work all the way, but it's still a really big commitment to make. And
it's something that it sounds like this person wouldn't do on his own.
Right.
Or he's not ready to do it on your own. So it's kind of a knock on his partner for kind of, again, she's putting his emotions on this guy, saying like she's pouty and she's upset. And the fact that she even said, like, you don't want to make me happy. Like, you're a scumbag for that. I am sorry.
No,
she
you're
sounds
right.
like a scumbag. Like, I would never. Coming from two women who are in very good committed relationships, I think she's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Maybe she's lovely in other ways, but
no, that's
in this
crazy.
way she's not.
You can't ask someone to permanently alter their body. You can't tell anyone to do anything with their body. That's not within your power.
Screw their body. What about, like, taken me out to dinner, because I used to have the ego. I'm just gonna say it. I came up from a wealthy, a wealthy house and stuff. I came up from a lot of like women who told me, if you're gonna be with a man, this man pays for you, this does everything else, blah blah blah. So I was kind of a snobby white girl. I will full on say it. I was a snobby white girl, and I know now that is, and some people really do chivalry. I can never say it, but some people are all about it and like, oh no, I pay for my girlfriend, blah blah blah. That's perfectly fine. And if you feel like you need to pay for your girlfriend and do everything, that's your choice.
Right.
But for me to expect that from you, especially in your 2022?
Yeah.
When we're all about equal rights and feminism, I think that's bullshit. I think women have to pick up the bills and not expect things of their significant others, especially at such a young age, with such little commitment. And what are you doing for that person? You can't expect things. So the fact that this girl is doing this stuff, try to look at the rest of your relationship and really see what else could she be doing that's kind of controlling in this person's, life. I think he needs to evaluate. I don't care how long you guys have known each other. That's it. It's quality over quantity, and that's the T.
And I feel like you said that absolutely perfectly. And I would be remiss if I didn't just mention this one thing that is, besides everything else that we just said, which are excellent points. It's a really, really trashy tattoo. Don't do it to yourself.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Caitlin's
garbage.
Dick.
Garbage.
That's so gross. So anyway, moving on. There's a lot of people that need our help. I'm a 14-year-old girl that's in the 8th grade who is having issues with one teacher. The teacher helps students reach their goals within their education, so he doesn't have a main subject, but he's weirdly obsessed with me. Oh no.
I've had that. I've had this teacher.
Oh boy. Okay. He's the kind of teacher that always pays more attention to the girls and less to the boys, and he always looks at their boobs. He loves to talk to me, and even though I switched to another class, he can't leave me be. He's kind of obsessed with me, and whenever he sees me, he sits really close to me. This is so creepy. One time when me and my friend were going home from school, we were really close to my house, and when I turned around, I saw him behind us, and he was really close to us, and he was just smiling at us. He pressured me into telling him about my hobbies during a break, and I told him I watched the popular show Euphoria. He then proceeded to take out his computer and start watching the first episode in front of me. We watched it together. The first episode contains a lot of sex scenes, and it was really uncomfortable. He then continued to talk about the show with me every now and then, and continued watching it at home. He said that he had already watched 2 episodes and was going to watch one every day. He's really freaking me and my friends out, but I don't know what to do. Oh my God, go talk to the school.
Yes. Do not feel like this is something you cannot control, because this 100% is something you can control. And I'm going to tell a personal story, actually. When I was in middle school, we had this teacher, and he was a part of the band. He would help out and everything. And we trusted this guy so much that we used to do private lessons at his house.
Wow.
Well, we found out when he wasn't in school one day, and for some reason, the band teacher was not allowed to talk about him or to him anymore. And we were like, I'm going to drop names. Where's Mr. W? You can look him up. He is in jail right now. And yes, he is in jail right now. So it's kind of like, I think he's locked up for another I think he got like a 15-year term. Wow. So he's still in jail from this. But he actually made, produced, and like promoted and just like put out thousands upon thousands of files of child pornography. And I can let you know, he seemed totally normal. And I think that's the crazy thing is, even if the teacher seems normal, you should never let an adult that you are not comfortable with or it's just flat out, he's a stranger, this person's a stranger, into your life like that. Because if you're not comfortable with it, and maybe it's nothing, maybe he's just an overly nice guy, but there are predators out there in the school system. I hate to say that or scare another person or child into saying he might be a predator, but reality is you should always take action now before it becomes an actual issue. God forbid anything ever would happen. And that is coming from me as a woman. I'm sure you can agree, and this goes for any school teacher, male or female.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, that's the other thing too, and it's crazy because you think about it. I thought about very briefly because I loved English in school, and I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll become an English teacher.
Right.
I really quickly changed my mind when I realized I would have to teach classrooms full of kids. I was like, that actually sounds like a fucking nightmare. Right. No, thank you. So there are two kinds of people that become a teacher, I feel like. People who actually don't hate kids and enjoy them, want to be around them and help mold their minds and blah, blah, blah. all that good stuff, these are, noble people, and that's great. Or you get people, I can't help but wonder, besides those people, why the fuck would you want to teach at a school? What's wrong with you? Like, I always have that thought in my head because I'm like, who would willingly do this? Either a saint or a predator. But yeah, no, never let them make you feel uncomfortable.
No.
Go to the school, say something. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter getting them in trouble. Don't feel bad if they're making you feel uncomfortable.
Here's the other thing too. You can always say, hey, can you have a conversation with this teacher from an anonymous student? You don't need to personally put yourself, if you're not comfortable in saying this is from let's say her name's Marie, right? This is from Marie. Marie said this. You could just say, can we keep it anonymous? I've done that about teachers. I've complained personally about my teachers saying, hey, this is an issue. Can we keep it anonymous? Someone has a conversation with a student being like, hey, or you can even say an outsider has observed this and did this on this other person's behalf. Because we've pulled stuff like that where if like I had an issue with one of my chemistry teachers, actually, I had a lot of my friends go to the principal, go to the board of directory, and go to the supervisor of the chemistry department and say, hey, we've observed this. And then I went second. So they kind of planted the seed. And then I went second saying, hey, this is what's going on. I don't want to make it a big deal for now, because if we don't need to make it a big deal, don't make it a big deal. And they have a conversation with that person, and if it doesn't get any better, you go back, and at that point, multiple people have said anything, you can get your friends involved, and obviously if they're friends, your personal friends, they'll keep it on the DL. If someone's making you uncomfortable and these people are your friends, they will be by your side no matter what. That's it. Doesn't matter who the person is.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's not something you should let go. Don't just be like, oh, well, he's my teacher. I don't want to get him in trouble. No. Get him in trouble.
Here's the other thing. If you switch classes too, it's irrelevant. And this guy will have no further impact in your life. I'm just saying.
Well, but she did say that they switched classes.
Right. She switched out, right?
Yeah, she switched out.
Exactly.
And she said he's still kind of obsessed with me. Whenever he sees me, he sits really close. Like, it should be talk to him where he's not allowed to go near you anymore. Right.
Or at least some conversation.
Yeah.
Something has to happen.
Anything.
And don't feel weird. Don't feel weird, because God forbid, I don't want to scare anyone. God forbid that this becomes an issue in the future. You have to act now.
Yep. I agree. Moving on. This is a good one. Okay. So I just found out my boyfriend sent his friends a video of me giving him a blowjob to his friends. I feel really violated, and it hurt that he would share something so private to other people. I've tried to speak to some of my friends about this, and I've gotten mixed opinions about the matter. Some are with me and say it's completely disrespectful, but others have said it's normal. And men...
It's normal? Okay, does it say her age?
No, it doesn't say her age. And men showing off, so I ask, is this normal, and am I overreacting? No, it's not normal. No, you're not overreacting. I'd be fucking furious.
So here's the thing. This didn't happen to me. No. But a similar scenario. The first time ever I dated someone older when I was 14. I was 14 and he was 16. So he had that 16-year-old mentality. I was 14. I was a freshman in high school and he was a junior, actually. And he pressured me into giving him a blowjob. We were dating for a while, though. I wouldn't do it for the longest time, but I finally gave in and did it.
I just hate that he's pressuring.
Yeah, I know.
That's the part where you're just like... Ugh.
And I told him, I finally did this. I don't want you to tell anyone. Also, too, that's a personal respect thing. Like, why would you want your friends knowing what you're doing, like, with your significant other? And he told a group chat. The first thing I said is, please don't tell anyone I did this. Like, this is between us and this is our private life. The first thing he did is I went to go to the bathroom to clean myself up, whatever else. And he sent out a blast group chat to all of his guy friends. And I was furious. And I just think that was so incredibly disrespectful. And here's the thing. I should have dumped him right then and there, because since I stayed with him, he was abusive, he was a piece of shit, and he didn't give a crap about how I felt or my personal life to anyone else. Yeah. And I think you need to take that as a red flag. If you sit down with him and tell him exactly how you feel, he needs to change right now, and if he doesn't, I don't care how much you love this person, but that's like exposing you. And if you're a child, if you're in high school, that's child pornography.
That's child pornography. Also, it's like, if you're sending porn of someone without their consent, that can be considered revenge porn, and it is illegal. Like, you can actually get him in trouble for that.
Right.
It's not okay that he did that without your consent at all. At all. There's no world in which that's cool or just a guy showing off.
Right.
That's beyond. I think
Yeah.
I think that you should dump him. Like,
Yeah,
I really
no,
do.
I
I think
do
that,
too.
like she said, that's like a red flag. I think that's the first thing where it's going to keep going. For the fact that he didn't have the fucking thought of like, oh, this isn't just me in this situation.
Right. And he gave no thought to his significant
None.
other. He gave no thought to you.
None.
Absolutely none about how you feel.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yep. Dump that
So-
guy.
Yeah, no, that's horrible. That's horrible.
I think it's time. I think that it's time that we get to a point, and I'm not just talking about women. I'm talking about guys too, because there are crazy controlling women as well. Like, this is not a gender thing. This is just a people thing. That we need to get to a point where we don't normalize bullshit behavior. It really, so it depends. I'm not talking about like someone who might have some issues and you're working through them together. That's everyone's gonna have issues. I'm talking about blatantly disrespectful things where they're actively telling you, no, you can't do this, absolutely not, or doing things like that, or sending you. It's this weird thing where for some reason we try to rationalize it in our heads and we're like, no, it's okay because, well, I love them, or he would never do anything else. But and that's how slowly but surely you find yourself in a really abusive relationship, and then 6 months to a year down the road you're like, what happened? How did I end up here?
That's always the question. How did I end up here? It's happened to me over and over again.
Yep, same. Oh, same. I look back on aspects of previous relationships I've had, and I'm like, holy shit, woman.
Right. And here's the other thing, like this is unfortunately something that happens in high school.
Yeah,
I remember
this is a
being in
very
high school and people
thing.
being like, "Oh my god, look at my girls, look at this." No, we need to stop normalizing high school boys sending pictures around of other females doing this, doing that. It doesn't make you cool, man. All the men watching this, no girl thinks you're cool that you have a photo vault of every single girl in your class who's nudes. It's what are you doing with that?
Yeah.
You know? It
I
doesn't
agree.
make you cool to any other female, and females know. That's the thing too. Girls know when guys have these things, so it's a common thing, because obviously like people can't keep their mouths shut, you know, and like no one thinks you're cool for it.
No. And that's just something that like, oh, you think it's cool when you're younger? It's not going to be cool when you're older.
It's not even cool when you're younger.
It's not cool when you're younger
No
either.
girl thinks that's cool. Like, I'm sorry, no girl thinks it's cool.
Then you just end up with that shitty reputation.
Yes, and don't be shitty.
Don't be shitty. I think we solved that one. Dump that guy. Moving on. Foster mom. Ooh, I'm in my 20s, so I aged out of foster care years ago. Got it. And there was a single foster mom who cared for me a lot and was very sweet. She was never inappropriate, just very motherly and kind. I saw her profile on a dating app. Would it be odd if I asked her out?
Don't ask her out. No. Because that actually too can really screw her up. Because I actually want to foster in the future. Once I'm more financially stable and a bit older, I want to be a foster mother.
Aww.
And just because I don't know if I want to have kids, so like fostering and giving back to the community is something I feel very strongly about.
Well, and also there's such a shortage of, as someone who's seen the system and had family members in the system, there's such a shortage of caring foster parents.
There's just people use it as tax write-offs.
They use it as tax write-offs and then treat the kids like shit. And I've seen it countless times. It's fucking horrendous.
Yes.
So the more good people who actually are there for the kids and want to take care of them, that's awesome.
Even if I just foster 1 or 2 kids in my life, I will feel content with giving back to like 1 or 2 kids.
Yeah,
but
you
either
change
way,
those kids' lives.
Exactly. Getting back to this point, if you ask her out and God forbid anyone finds out or anyone says anything, here's the thing too. Think of an outsider looking in. So let's say that it's totally benign and everything's cool and you guys go out and she mentions something to a friend. Like the woman, your foster mother mentioned something to a friend of hers. And that friend of hers calls up and goes, hey, this woman was fostering this girl and now they're going out. I think there might have been foul play and I don't know. Because honestly, if I saw one of my friends doing that, if I was older and my friend was a foster mom, I don't care how close of a friend they are, I'm going to report them because that's putting other children at danger. Again, even if it's benign, she could be putting other children at danger because if you have a love interest
And
to
one
a
of your
kid
foster
before, that's problematic, and that is why we have so many bad situations and so many horrible things happen to foster children. So don't engage with that at all.
Yeah, I agree. It would be very odd if you asked her out. Don't do it.
Don't do it. No.
That's so weird. I actually knew. Oh my God. It's wild, the shit that you realize that when you look back on stuff or just the shit that happens. I had a friend who I was close with and she was living with foster parents. And the woman was, I'm not going to drop any names, but the woman was really sweet. She was always really nice to us. Like she was great. And then there was the guy. And
Right.
he was definitely a little bit creepy. And then so I was 16 and all of us were 16, 15 to 16, I think. Maybe my one friend was 17. I don't think my one friend did anything with the foster dad, but we found out.
Don't think?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
no.
I don't know. I don't think so. But we found out that he slept with one of her other friends. Wasn't me. It was this other girl. He slept with her.
God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think she was 15. I think she was younger than me. I was 16 at the time. I'm pretty sure she was
Really?
15. Yeah. Because we were all ranging in age from 15 to 17. And I'm pretty sure I was in the middle. But anyway, and again, I'm not going to like drop any names on these people, but I don't think he went to jail. I don't even know what happened, but the woman obviously left him and like
Right,
it ruined their
right.
marriage. It was a whole huge thing. And I remember talking to my friend about it and I was like, wait, what happened? And like, he was creepy to me too, but nothing ever happened.
Right.
And I was kind of 16 and like stupid because he was like a good looking, I don't think I wouldn't have done anything.
Right, right.
He was like a good looking, like in his early 30s or like late 20s, like a cool young.
Right. But here's the thing. Even if he didn't do anything with your friend, it's the fact that
He was
if
creepy.
that would have happened sooner than, or
It
it
would
would
have
have happened regardless.
Yeah.
Because if you're having any sort of sexual relationship or anything, or even looking at a younger child in that way, knowing that they're like 15, 16, even
Yeah.
17.
Even
I'm sorry.
17's creepy as
Even
shit.
17, I'm like, that's still a child that fully relies on their parents and like just started driving a car.
Even, you know what creeps me
So
out too?
it'll happen later in life. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
will do that to another child
Oh,
at
yeah.
some point. So
Oh, yeah.
like,
I'm sure that he did it to someone else.
Yeah,
even
no.
someone who like just turned 18, that even creeps me out because it's like, dude, she
Same.
was 17
and you were
yesterday.
like waiting.
Yeah,
you were waiting.
creepy
So
as
it means
shit.
you're like a child predator.
Yeah, the whole thing is weird. I feel like just if you're old, just stay in the 20s. Just stay in the 20s. It's weird.
Yeah, I take that stuff to heart, like hardcore, especially because again, I want to at some point foster children. So like that stuff to me, like I'll cut a bitch. I don't care who you are. I don't care if I end up in jail. If someone like does anything to my foster child while
Yeah.
they're in my care, like I will go to jail on that kid's behalf.
You're
I
like,
don't
I'm
care.
going to fuck
I
this
don't care.
person
And
up.
if someone asks me, like, if I'm getting a job or something, and they're like, why were you in jail for a whole year? Like, someone touched my foster kid or did something weird to them, and I hurt them. You know, like, my bad. I, like, have a charge against battery assault. Like, that.
Because
I gotta protect my foster baby.
look, I mean, any baby, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing of it. Whenever there's kids involved, that's where shit gets serious. Like, that's where I'm like,
They always say, too, people in jail, if you're in jail for any sort of, like, child situation, anything in general, they say they will treat them worse than people that, like, murdered others.
oh yeah,
Which I agree. Go
fine
go
with it.
inmates. Like,
Yeah.
you fucking show those people.
kick their asses.
Oh my God.
Fuck the pedophiles, literally.
Yes.
Like literally.
Moving on.
Moving on. So I'll start this off by saying me and my girlfriend have been together for a year, and there's been ups and downs, but it's also been the best relationship I've ever been in. Look, there's always going to be ups and downs in relationships. It's
100%.
hard being with another person like that and being that
Yeah.
close with them.
Here's the other thing before we even continue. It's about if you guys have a down and you sit down and talk about it, how have both of you changed to make it better? It's
Yeah.
not like, oh, I've had 10 up, because my relationships had crazy ups and downs.
Of course.
But the point is, every time you have a down, you sit down, you talk about it, and you get past it.
Yeah, you
You
have
know?
to communicate.
And that's the thing.
Have
People
to.
people give up once it's down because and like outsiders always like, oh, dump this girl, she sucks, he sucks, whatever. But it's like, I want to know on how moving past that's gonna work.
Oh yeah,
I
and
want to know
just
how committed they
because-
are to me.
Exactly.
Just
And
saying.
just because someone does, not everything is a red flag that you need to dump
Right.
someone for it. Totally. I know I throw out the dump them a lot, but that's usually in these extreme situations. I'm
Right.
not talking about like you're always going to have someone that has their things where it depends how much you love them and how much you really want to move past those things. There's never going to not be a down. But if you are in a relationship where you respect each other and you love each other, and you
Right.
trust each other, and you're human. You're always going to have your feelings hurt. You're always going to say something hurtful, not necessarily
Yep.
meaning to, like,
Yep.
that's going to happen.
But again,
But-
it's how you treat each other after that
It's
happens.
how you treat each
and
other
how
after
you
that
change.
happens.
That's
Yeah.
the only thing that is important. Doesn't matter how many downs you have. If you guys change after the fact, that's all that matters.
Yeah, because it shows that you cared enough to work on whatever bothered
Exactly.
them. Yeah.
That's important.
All right, so continuing. I love her to death. When we first started talking, I remember something happened and we couldn't hang out, so she posted her story. She posted on her story. Okay. This is Instagram. Quote, some of you have more dick in your personality than in your pants. And I asked her about it. She said, oh, it was about her friend and thought it was funny, so I brushed it off. Fast forward to now, and that topic came up, and she said she was talking about me. I didn't know how to take it and started to overthink and feel insecure. We talked about it the other night, and I told her I was off because of that. She didn't know why. I said because it makes me think that your ex was bigger than me and that I'm not big enough. She didn't say anything to reassure me I was crazy or incorrect. She said it's not about the size, it's about how we love each other. I get that because I love her, but I can't get the devastating feeling out of my head that I have a small package. I've never been told that before, so never had this problem, but it's really eating me alive. I know I don't have the biggest in the world or anything, but just knowing that I'll never be able to live up to her past is really stomach turning. What is there that can be done? Okay, so first of all, this was really shitty of her to do that.
Really shitty of her to do that, and coming from a girl's perspective, I don't even know if she was, like, legitimately talking about your wiener size. Like, I'm just gonna put that out there, that comment, it just sounds like she was, like, petty.
You're right, because
I don't think she even, like, meant, like, I'm gonna make this about his wiener. Like, as a female, to me, that is not something I would say about someone's, like, size. That's more of, like, a knock on, like, whatever happened, and she was just angry at your personality for that moment. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds like something happened and you couldn't hang out, so she got all salty and did that, because it says some of you have more dick in your personality, so she was also calling you an asshole.
I was just gonna say, that's me. It's like, that just means, like, you're an ass.
Yeah,
and she was just saying that you were a dude. Like, that's exactly what that is. Also, too, when it comes to your size down there, if you're a nice average size,
it's fine.
That's enough. Perfect. For me, like, I don't know how big your girl is, but I'm a tiny girl, and, like, I actually do not like big penises. I don't know if you can agree to that. I don't want to know because this is my sister-in-law. But, like, I mean, I don't give a as long as it's not hearing about my brother's wiener. Like, I don't care what you say to this topic. But, like, I can reassure you that if you have if you're endowed down there, I will look at you and be like, oh no, shit. Like, I have to go through that.
There is a limit. There's a limit. There is such thing as too big. I will say that. Like, I've seen pictures before where I'm like, oh no.
I've been with guys that were too big, and I stopped it in the middle, and I was like, I can't ever do this again. I'm sorry.
You're like, this is terrible.
I can't commit myself to someone that I'm gonna be in pain with or whatever. So a nice average size wiener, I'm telling you, is the best thing ever. You got a killer personality. You sound like you really care. I don't think her comment was even about your size. And here's the other thing too. What's the point of living if no one's ever gonna be better than you?
Yeah.
I know this is something you can't, like, improve on, but this has, like, it's so irrelevant, and I really think you're overthinking it. And, you know,
I actually agree. It sounds like she's being a little bit shitty by not, like, if I were her, I would have been like, no, it's not that. Like, if I were her, I would have reassured you when you asked her about it. But she didn't. But you're absolutely right. There's always going to be someone better than you, someone bigger than you, someone better looking, someone funnier, someone richer. Like, you're never going to be the best in the world. It just doesn't work. Even when you look at fucking athletes, they're only the best until someone better comes along.
And it's like, okay, maybe that person's, like, hot as hell, but your personality sucks because you're hot as hell? Probably. Usually. You know, I'm just saying.
A lot of the time.
I'm just saying.
Not always, but.
You know, like, a lot of, there's pros and cons to every type of person. And, like, even if you had a super small wiener but had a good personality, girls don't care.
Yeah.
At least, when you hit that age where you just want security and you just want someone to, like, sit down, watch a movie with, and, like, eat a bunch of popcorn and stuff your face with, like, no girl's gonna care about your wiener size. You know, you guys will make it work in bed.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, so. Especially if she loves you. Like, that's...
Right. So maybe you're not at that age right now that, like, that doesn't matter. But I'm telling you, like, when you maybe get a little older, if you are younger, girls don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yep. I think this is something that... The only thing that you have to... And also, you can't worry about your ex's past. You just can't. They always are going to have been with someone else.
Alive, yeah.
Yep. It's going to eat you alive. You just have to... And if this is something that you struggled with, I suggest going to therapy to work and working on your self-esteem and work. And it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to suck for a while, and then you're going to think you're doing better, and then something will set you back. But you eventually will get to a place where you don't really think about it anymore, and things will be better, and you will be better off. So I suggest going to therapy to work through it, working on your self-esteem, doing things that make you feel good about yourself, and just being a good person, because that's really what it comes down to.
No, that's all girls look for. I'm serious. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah,
No
we
one,
just want someone who's, and if you're worried about the girls who want it, like, all girls date assholes, don't date those girls. You don't want those girls.
No.
They have emotional problems. Don't deal with that.
And like they're probably assholes. Like I'm just
That too
putting that out there.
sometimes.
No nice girl will date an asshole if she's not gaining something. Because what's the point of dating an asshole if you're not gaining anything? And
Some
I guarantee
girls
you,
do like that though. I
some
will
girls-
say.
some
I don't
girls
know why,
like it.
but they do.
they like it, but like there's an age where that's not cute anymore.
Oh yeah,
You know,
I've been
like, you'll
attracted to the dickhead guys. Of course,
I
I
get
have.
attracted
Absolutely.
to the dickhead guys too that'll make fun of me, and I'm like, ooh, like he made fun of me. But it's like, no, I'm sorry, I don't want to be made fun of anymore. Like I just want to live my life with my, boyfriend and sit there and hang out with the dogs, and that's it. That's all I want. I want anyone to treat me like an asshole.
No, it's not fun. It's not cute. It's not fun playing games. Like,
No.
and some people, don't get me wrong, some people thrive on that. But if that's not what you thrive on, then don't even go after the people that want that. Then don't be in that world, and you'll be fine. Like,
right.
that's, I don't know.
All right, lovely.
Yes.
Good luck.
Good luck. Moving on. My fiance thinks he's a talented. Oh, I need advice. Sorry, I messed that up. I'm worried about my future with this person. We have been together for 3 years and have one child together. Okay, that's rough. He has been writing movie scripts for 14 years. Well, not even a full script. 2 pages in 14 years. Oh, no.
And is that his career?
I hope not. If it is,
What
he's
else
not
does
very
it
good
say?
at
What
it.
else does it say? I'm like, look at this conversation. Like,
I've been very supportive. I've bought him books on how to write scripts. I've bought him a nice desk and put it in the basement with a lamp, plant, paper, pens, pencils, and a laptop. This girl's already going above and beyond.
Yes.
She's a keeper.
Yes.
He said the basement was too dark, so I moved it upstairs in front of a big window. He always seems to get mad and blame everyone for not finishing one script. Oh, no. He says he's the most talented writer in the world and that he has stories no one has ever heard of. Great stories. I've read what he's managed to write, and it's beyond terrible. His stories are also copies of movies he had seen. It's sad because he has a lot of talent as a contractor and can start a successful business, but his dream is writing. When is enough enough? I don't want to tell him the truth and be a dream killer. The fact that she's worrying about this is really sweet.
yes. And I just, first of all, you're a gem.
Yeah.
You really are a gem.
Yep.
From that, what Xia just read, you sound like a gem.
Yep.
Here's the thing: is he doing this like full time? Because I think that's the issue, and that's the information that we don't have. Is he trying to do this full time? Are you paying for all the bills? And is he what is he contributing and not contributing to?
It sounds like he is a talented contractor.
That's what
He
she
hasn't
said.
started his business, but I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but it seems like that's what he does. If he's only written 2
Right.
pages in 14 years, I don't think that he's getting paid from writing.
Well, no. I don't think
Or
he's
if
getting
he's
paid
just
for
doing
writing.
it
I don't think
for
he's getting
his-
paid for writing either. But what I am saying is, yeah, it's hard to say because it's one of those things. Like if he's not paying bills or not contributing or doing something, that's one of those things. You guys are just at different points in your life right now. And it's really sweet you care about that. But since you guys have a baby together and you have to worry about yourself and your baby's future, that's going to be one of those like situations where you just go, hey, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to support you and stuff, but I need you to contribute. We have a child. If he's a successful contractor and doing this on the side and just trying to do this on the side, let him do it on the side. I would just say, like, there's hobbies that you do, and this is almost like a hobby for him. Even though it's his dream, if it's never going to work for him, he's always going to actually have to work somewhere else. If he's contributing, paying bills. If he's not contributing, paying bills, I think you have to have a conversation and be like, look, we have a kid.
Yeah.
One person can't just take... There's obviously single moms out there and single dads doing amazing, but you gotta... There's a reality aspect to it that you have to say, look, at some point, it's not working.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like if you're actually worried about your future, the fact that he's not a good writer, it's sweet that you don't want to be a dream killer.
Right.
And he might hold it against you. If you I think you should tell him the truth. If you do, he might get mad at you. And you have to just be ready for that.
Or again, say nothing. If this is a hobby of his, just ignore it. You've
That's true.
supported it to the extent that you've supported it. And if it's going to go anywhere else, I know it's his dream. But again, if it's a hobby and he's working and doing other things to contribute to you and your family, then let him let him bask in his anger, let him bask in the fact that he can't finish things, because you know what, that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's true. As long as he's delivering on other things, like he's being a good dad, or he's, you know, working and contributing. You know what, that's actually a fair point. I agree.
It's like, all right, he's gonna do his thing over there, I'm gonna do my thing over here, and you know what, everyone pays bills and everyone takes care of the kid, and he does his thing and I do mine. And that's about it.
Or you could just be like, hey, hun, your writing fucking sucks. You're terrible. Give it up because you're not good at it and you're never going to go anywhere. I'm stomping on your dreams.
Maybe a heartbreak. They always say after a heartbreak, like writers just explode because they put all their emotion in it. Maybe that's the other thing too. You can give them pointers like, hey, you know, try writing about like something you're really emotional about, things like that.
Or like you said, dump him and then be like, I did this for you, sweetie. So now you have the emotion to write.
You know, I read on Reddit one time that if you break someone's heart, you know.
I was watching
this video on YouTube and these two random girls who don't know anything told me to do this.
They're like,
and that's how we got
here. Now my child has no father.
Right. Both of them, neither of them have kids. Like, one of them's not even married.
They clearly know what they're talking about.
Right. This is us.
Or just get him some booze and drugs. I heard that helps feel good writing too. Look at Hunter S. Thompson.
Okay.
Oh boy. Oh, this is a tough one. Okay. So there's a bit of an age difference. The guy in this relationship is 18 years old, and the woman in this relationship is 30 years old. That's so weird to me. As like I don't think I could ever date someone who's 18.
My best friend actually only dates old women, so.
Okay,
so I might have some advice on this.
This will be perfect.
Yep.
My girl wants to have a baby, but I'm not ready for that kind of thing yet. Yes, you're 18. Plus, we've only been dating for 3 months, and I work in a minimum wage job. I'm planning to drop out of university, and I was kicked out by my parents. Oh, God. So things are already hard enough, and a baby would only add to it. Yeah, duh. My parents won't be willing to help financially, rightfully, and I'm already in too much debt. She says she'll try to help and that God will help us find a way. Oh, God, out. But these reasonings alone aren't enough for me to be convinced. Is this the breaking point, or is it possible that we can talk this out? I really need help with this, as she's extremely resistant and won't listen to my concerns. No, you're not going to work past this. Holy shit. You're not going to work past it, no. There's no way. And that's exactly why a woman in her 30s shouldn't be dating a fucking 18-year-old. Right. You want you're completely different points in your life.
Right.
You want completely different things.
It's like, this 18-year-old's focused on like, oh, where's my DD getting home tonight because I'm not allowed to drink and I can't go to a bar and get an Uber and stuff. He can't even
legally go to a bar. He can't rent a car. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're worried about where your DD's coming from, and you've clearly had some mess ups previously that you're trying to work past and, you know, better yourself, you know? I know someone who's going through a similar thing right now.
Really?
I am dead. I'm not going to say anything because, like, I'm not going to
if they hear anything. It.
Yeah, but I'm saying I know someone that's going through a similar thing where this person is dating another person who currently wants children. And the reality is, and now they are actually much similar in age. They're way past, they're older and stuff. So it's all good. But the reality is, if someone does not want a child or is ready for a child, you cannot force another life form on anyone. And I think the sad part is if you're young, your brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25. And I know there's so many young parents out there, but there is no way in heck, especially if you've had mess ups previously, that you can take on a child. It's just not happening. And if
I couldn't take on a child.
Right. If
I have really thought about that.
If your girlfriend cares about you or the child in any way, she would understand my 18-year-old, you know, is not ready for this. Also, too, why is a 30-year-old who's ready to have children dating an 18-year-old?
I don't know. I don't know what she's thinking. She's stupid. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm 30 and I want to have a kid. Let me date this guy that just graduated high school and works at McDonald's.
See,
what are you doing?
My friend that dates like cougars, like he literally will date women in like their 50s and he's like 24. It's so
but
fun.
At least he's in his 20s.
But he loves it. He's mid-20s. He always dates these older women. But the thing is all of them are like divorced. They got their own kids. They're just doing this like a fun. I'm dating this drummer on the side. Yep. You know, he's a musician.
That makes
super
sense.
Cool. Does this full time. You know, And that's what they do, you know, and it's like
that's a completely different scenario.
Right.
He's at least in his mid-20s. He's like an adult.
Right. He's got his own place. Like it's literally all good, but your guys' age different right now and the points in your life, it's never going to work. No. And I really think you should just break it off now. And if she has a problem with that, that's a big red flag for someone at her age.
To keep pressuring someone to having a kid.
No,
that's the thing where that's a discussion you should have before you marry someone. That's a discussion you should have before you have a long-term relationship. Like, you need to talk about that. When you feel like you're falling in love with someone and you're like, okay, we both love each other. Right. We both are falling for each other. We're deciding we want to be together. This is something we need to talk about. Do you want kids? If you do, are you going to raise them religiously? Like, all that shit.
Right. And here's the other thing, too. If you don't want a kid, don't have a kid, because you will not be what that kid needs. And some people are. Again, I'm not saying everyone. Some people are really great when they have accident children, but I don't think that you want a kid right now. I don't think you want to take on a financial burden for the rest of your life being horribly poor and not providing for your kid because you had a kid with some random 30-year-old that you barely honestly know.
Yeah, don't
like
do
barely
that.
know her. You guys are barely together. You don't
3 months, and she's like, put a baby in me. Also, just that fact, she sounds fucking nuts. You need to run.
It sounds like she has like someone she's trying to like make jealous and like get pregnant by, or she's dating some guy on the side that you don't know about that like actually is her long-term boyfriend, and she's like, hun, like, you got me pregnant, this is your kid, blah 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 blah, and then she's gonna dump you and you're gonna have some random kid out there. Like,
either way, it's bad. Either way,
please break up with her. If she cares about you, she would not be dating you.
Yeah, definitely break up with her. Good Lord. Ooh, moving on. We went from crazy ex-girlfriend to crazy roommate. Okay, or crazy girlfriend.
I love this. I love the roommate drama.
Oh gosh, I used to have 5 roommates at one point. I lived with like 5. No, hold on. I lived with 2. It was another couple in another room, and there were 3 guys. Yeah, I lived with 5 roommates. 4 of them were guys. I will say this: living with guys can be pretty easy.
Yeah, that's what I did. I lived with all men.
It was pretty fucking chill for the most part. As long as you, like, when I moved in knowing that they were all fighters. So I was cool with there being dirty geese and fucking geese hanging everywhere. And
that was me. I was the jujitsu girl coming in 10 o'clock at night, back from college, and everyone's like, "Yeah, you're trying to drink and go to this party," and I'm like, yeah, I was just rolling around the floor for 2 hours with other sweaty men,
really
and
tired.
like I gotta go wash my hair. You know, it's like
you're like, I can't get drunk.
Yeah, that was me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the one with the sweaty geese rolling into my house of men.
Yeah, it was one of those kinds of things. But honestly, other than that, it was completely fine. And I'll tell you, for the most part, dudes kind of keep to themselves. They do their thing, and we'd hang out sometimes and go to the beach occasionally, and like that was kind of it. Like, I don't remember having any drama in that house.
The only drama I didn't have any drama with anyone except the fact that like they wouldn't clean up after themselves sometimes.
They can be messy. But
even then, not as messy as girls can be.
No, it's not. It wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't bad. And here's the thing.
They would clean. If you were like, hey, can you please clean up?
Oh, that's the other thing. I can go to my roommate, I swear to God, and I will name drop right now, AJ. AJ does not clean up after himself when he cooks, and I'll be like, hey, AJ, you left a mess. Can you please clean up? He's like, I'll be downstairs in 20 minutes. I am so sorry. Let me go do this. And he would clean up.
Yeah.
And it was that simple. You say that crap to a girl, and suddenly everyone's catfighting. I can't believe she fucking said I gotta clean up when she left her sock there the other day. No, guess what? I asked AJ to clean up, and 20 minutes later, the whole kitchen's clean. Whole kitchen's clean, and that's how it is with men.
It was amazing. Although I did have a couple of girl roommates who were great too. Like after some of the dudes moved out, my friend Lydia moved in, and living with her was totally awesome also, and like perfectly fine. I'm not saying that like, but it's just I will say that for having 5 roommates, the fact that they were all dudes except for the one girl who was also the one girl that lived there was the girlfriend of one of the guys that I lived with.
That was the same with mine. Yeah. One of them had like a girlfriend who came in. Yeah.
But she was very chill. She just kind of went off and did her thing. She was a bit of a pothead, and she gave massage. They were a couple that massaged each other. Like not massaged each other. They were both massage therapists. Like, for real. I got a massage from both of them at the same time once. I don't know if you've ever been massaged by 2 people at once, but it's the most incredible thing I've ever felt in my life. She was doing my, I think, lower body, and he was doing my upper body. And I was like, this is amazing.
That sounds nice. That sounds really nice.
So good. They had hot rocks. Anyway, we're telling our, like, amazing, we're like,
I know, we haven't even, listened, fully read the question. We just went off on tangent about how men can be a lot better than females.
For living with sometimes,
yes.
yeah. So ever since the new Spider-Man movie came out, my roommate has been inspired by the Green Goblin. He seriously refers, and this is a dude, this is hilarious. He seriously refers to himself as a goblin and likes to terrorize me and my friends, but in a mentally deranged way. Not a fun way. Okay. It started out with him coming in and farting in my room and on my friends. Also, he forces me to fart so he can sniff it. This happens every day at 1 a.m. We're just talking about how great roommates are, and then we get this guy.
Okay, maybe roommates if you're a female, because no one will do this shit if you were a girl, especially pretty girls.
I did have a guy, one of my roommates, when I first moved in that place, I was showering, and he threw a bucket of cold water on me in the shower, and that sucked.
Oh, no, yeah. All of us just kept to ourselves in our rooms. Like, it was so easy.
It can be. He likes to cut off the electricity and attack me while I sleep. He likes to walk around naked, and if I confront him, he turns around and spreads his ass to show me his asshole. Oh my God. Last week, he literally started collecting piss bottles and making me smell them. He is peeing on my car. This is not where I was expecting this to go.
No.
Yesterday, while cleaning the house, he pissed in a Windex spray bottle and chased me around, spraying at me. Holy shit!
How old are you guys?
I'm not saying any ages here, so I don't know. Today he is threatening to use his shit against me. I'm assuming his literal shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah.
I need advice on what to do. I fear for my life, but he has been my friend for over a decade. I don't know why he lost it now. I can't tell if he's joking or if he is sick. Please help.
So that was a lot to unravel. I think the first thing you do is, if you live with other people, first thing you do, actually, men are easy like this. You have a sit down conversation and be like, look, man, like, we've been friends for a decade, and I can tell you I love compliment sandwich. Compliment sandwich is how you get things done. You saying how much you love them, you appreciate them, they're so awesome. Maybe talk about some stuff you used to do when you're kids, blah, 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 blah. Hit it with the, hey man, I know you've been joking a lot lately, but it's really starting to make me uncomfortable. And statements, I learned this in therapy. I feel statements, not you. If you say you, people freak out. I feel like lately I have been very on edge because I am not comfortable with how you've been treating me and doing kind of like the playful peeing and craziness. I would really appreciate it if, we can kind of like go back to things previously. I felt a lot better, and I really hope you can understand, and end it with that compliment sandwich, because you are such an incredible person, and I know this is something that I can have a conversation with you about because you're so level-headed, and this is something that we can get past. I hope you can understand and then understand and respect my feelings guy to guy.
Sounds like
that is how you do it.
Level-headed.
But either way, and if here's the thing, if he doesn't stop after this, you have a second conversation to be like, look, man, and this time you can get a little rough with it. I had a conversation with you about it. Like, I respect you so much. You need to respect me, and if you can't respect me, like, it's becoming an issue. Point blank. That's all you need to say. And if they don't stop, then that's gonna be one of those things. Like, hey, I think I might have to either move out, or something's got to change because I can't live like this, and you need to respect that. And if you're my friend, you would.
Yeah. If I were you, I would try to lock your door at night so he stops coming in for your 1 a.m. fart.
Right, but the first thing is you have to have a conversation because, like,
yeah.
I don't know how old you guys are, but if you feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, like,
I'm trying to say if he.
I don't think
yeah,
he didn't. Anything about college
he didn't
or anything. I don't
didn't
know.
say anything about any of that. Basically, yeah, if you want to try to talk to him first, see if you can talk some sense into him. Obviously, if he doesn't listen, either you need to kick him out or you need to move out, and then maybe talk to a mental health professional, because if you're worried that he actually is going crazy, like, this all sounds extreme. The fact that you guys have been friends,
way too extreme.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The fact that you guys have been friends for 10 years and were like cool with each other and everything was fine, and you lived together, and then all of a sudden, because of one movie, this happens. This is not a normal thing.
And you can even be like, look, man, like, if you're struggling, same thing. I would love to help you. Let's together try to find resources and stuff if you're struggling. And that's just a thing, like, you might be scared to have the conversation, but getting over that fear of having a conversation is way better than having someone piss in Windex bottles and threaten you and do this stuff, because, like, what type of life are you living in any sense that would ever be okay?
Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like, that's crazy.
I have the update for that.
Oh, there's an update?
Oh, yes.
Producer Nick has an update.
We have an update, ladies.
So they can't hear me reiterate.
Okay.
He shat on the floor.
Okay.
So they called his parents. His parents took him away.
Wow. All right, so here's the update. He is not mentally okay. He shit on the floor. So they had to call the parents, and the parents came and took him away. So that's basically the update on that guy.
Honestly, for anyone out there, even if you guys are in some crazy situation, I've been in situations where I have had to say, I will get your parents involved if this doesn't stop.
Well, yeah.
Normally people stop, and if it doesn't, like, please get other people involved, because you don't know personally what's going on a lot of the times in other people's lives. So if the parents had to take him away and get him help, it was probably something serious.
Yeah, the fact that he was walking around naked and then turning around and spreading his asshole and showing you, like,
that's not okay.
This is all, like, the sounds of someone who had a mental break, or turns out they're, like, schizophrenic or some weird shit happened. I actually had a friend who was schizophrenic. And
same. I had to unfriend him.
It's a trip. He's fine as long as he took his medication. If he took his medication, he was just kind of normal, and his name was Sky, and he would do his pottery, but he was always a little bit, like, kind of slow and, a little weird, but, like, not in a crazy way.
Right.
Just like, oh, this dude's a little weird. He was very chill. He smoked a lot of weed and took, as long as he was taking his medication, he was fine. If he went off of his medication for any reason, which apparently sometimes happens, they, like, think they're fine, so they just stop taking it.
Or the voices will tell them to stop taking it. And they actually will stop, depending on what type you have.
Yeah, so his was, he thought that aliens were going to come up from the ground, I believe, and spill his brains. And he would get, like, he'd lock all the doors, shut the windows, close the blinds.
Right.
And he'd be in there, and he'd be like, they're coming. Like, straight up tinfoil hat stuff, like that kind of shit. And it was such a trip to see the difference in when they're medicated versus when they're not medicated. And this is giving me, I don't know, kind of similar vibes.
Yeah.
Like, some weird shit happened there.
So I had a friend, this is a very short story, I was actually friends with him for years and everything, and medication did not work. He went to get a billion different treatment plans, all sorts of stuff. Medication just did not work. He actually saw the same, like, 4 or 5, like, people, and they were, like, dead. They were, like, dead, like, cut up people.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it was really graphic and, like,
terrifying.
horrifying. And he would just be like, yeah, I would wake up and there would be, like, a dead girl, like, this close to my face, like, and stuff. Sometimes they would, like, ask him to, like, come into, like, this dark basement and
medication didn't work?
Nothing worked for him, so he smoked a ton of weed. And then, because of all of this, he was, like, a sociopath. He had no feelings, no emotions, whatever. And one day he admitted to me while I was on a vacation, and then it ruined the whole night of the vacation for me. And it was so bad that he killed a cat previously, and he felt like he was like, I feel bad about it now. He was like, but at the time I didn't even care. I was killing it, blah, 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 blah. And at that point I knew, because that's, like, the first sign of, like, a serial killer, that like, I had to completely unfriend him, block him off, everything. My parents loved him. He's been to my lake house in Pennsylvania. My parents adored him. I thought he was great. All my exes, my friends, everyone's met this guy, and they were just like, oh, this person is so cool. And I just felt like at that point I had to stop being his friend. Not that I thought I was in danger or anything, because I really never felt. I felt like, really, I never felt in danger or anything. He was, like, the nicest guy. Such a nice guy.
You're smart, though. That's a big red flag.
But, like, if you're killing a cat, I can't be friends with you. I really do. I really hope he's doing well, too. Like, I really, really do hope that he has, like, found some
that's
help.
good. You know what's creepy about that? The fact that no medication works makes me, that's one of those things where you're like, oh my God, maybe that's like a straight up horror movie, and he's actually seeing dead people.
That's what I said. I was like, maybe there are, like, spirits that you see, that these spirits, like, need your help, and you know.
And you're just smoking weed to mute it out.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not helping you guys.
Yeah.
I'm too high. Good luck. I don't know who murdered you, but leave me alone.
Right.
All right. So usually we like to end the show with a fun story. And so I'm going to read this story, and you guys, and we can decide, especially in the comments, let me know what you think, if we think that this is real or not. Because people write these stories sometimes on Reddit, and they go and they share basically, like, sometimes it's a fantasy, sometimes it's something that happened to them, sometimes it's acting like something that they did for real, but I never believe those. So I'm very curious to see if this is what it is.
It's kind of reminding me of like a horror movie vibes when they say based off a true story, and the true part of the story is just what year the story was based in. And it's like, oh, in the year 1964, there was a house on the corner. And then they go into a full-blown horror story, but it's like, this is literally about just a random house on the corner. That's like the true story.
Right.
That's like, this is what
It's
this
a
gives
lot
me
of that.
vibes. It's like,
Yeah.
this is about to be a horror movie.
So it might be that, but maybe slightly sexual. I can't tell. I back to the gym. These are bad writers. I went back to the gym again on the first day I realized that I had to wear only dark shorts on an exercise bike. Okay. Everything was fine for the first 5 minutes. Cute guy in the front with a girl in front of me did a butt workout, and I stared at his elastic buttocks, imagining how they would go to the shower together after the gym, and did not notice that I began to increase the bike speed and get horny. I heard in my mind the sound of me slapping his juicy ass.
Wait, is this a girl to a guy, or is this a guy to another, like a gay guy to another guy?
It's a girl to a guy.
Is it?
It does say female, yeah.
Okay.
The seat rubbed against my crotch, and I realized that I was going to come soon, but when I come, everything between my legs becomes wet. She's a squirter. And I was wearing only tight shorts of green color. The seat of... so this is why she's like, I have to wear only dark shorts when I go to the gym now, because apparently it just makes her come. The seat of the bike rested heavily on my crotch, and I rubbed against it and felt how everything was getting slippery and wet. There was no way back, and I came very hard. No sound. I just squeezed the handles of the bike and the seat with my hips. It was very cool, and of course, a big wet spot was growing on my shorts. I was shaking all over from orgasm. I quickly covered my shorts with a towel and looked around. It seems that everyone would be staring at me. Music was playing, everyone was doing their own thing, and only behind me some guy was staring at my ass, but he couldn't see the spot. I wrapped myself in a towel, wiped the wet seat, and quickly went to the shower. But I can swear that when I passed by the receptionist, she looked at me strangely, at the exercise bike from which I got off, then at the towel, and smiled. Apparently, she knows what can sometimes happen to a girl on an exercise bike. I plan to buy a bike soon and start driving around the city on weekends. I will always wear only black shorts and take a change of clothes with me. Also, I'm thinking of joining group cycling. I think everyone there is so happy. Do you think that's real?
It can't be.
Right?
I feel like it can't be real because, like, as someone that works out,
yeah.
I was actually late today because I was working out.
She was at the gym. She was waiting for
gym.
some asshole who was curling in the motherfucking squat rack.
Curling 65 pounds in the squat rack.
Stupid.
And my boyfriend goes over to him and he goes, hey, are you almost done? Because you're curling in the squat rack. And he looks at him and goes, oh, no, I have a lot more to do.
What an asshole.
And then he looks at my boyfriend when he goes,
squat rack.
Okay. He goes, oh, do you need to squat? And my boyfriend goes, yes.
Oh.
Yes. And he just goes, sorry, dude. You were doing 65 pounds. You're telling me you could not get a barbell? Straight barbell. We got straight barbells that you could just anywhere in the gym.
Yep.
You can even take a regular barbell that you could put weights on, bring it to another section of the gym.
Yep.
You could do anything. Dumbbells. Go to a different section of the gym. And it's the fact that he looked at my boyfriend and went, do you need to squat? And my boyfriend said, yes. Because it's the both of us. We both needed to squat. And he was like, sorry, man.
Yeah, you never...
Prick. You're a fucking prick.
He's a fucking asshole. He doesn't know gym etiquette.
The bald guy at the Howell Retro Fitness, I am coming for you. I really am. And not in a sexual bike way, because your bald ass was ugly and a piece of shit. I'm just saying it. Had to wait a half an hour for this fucking asshole.
That's so shit. And also, who's doing curls for fucking 30 minutes? You do 4 sets of 10 to 15 at the most. calm your
I
fucking
know.
with like 2 minutes in between each set. That
And
shouldn't
then he's
take you
sitting
longer
there
than
on
10
his
minutes.
phone like he's power. You know how like power lifters and stuff when you do like all sorts of stuff. Well, they do like because they lift a ton of weight all at once
that's
for slow
different.
reps.
You need longer.
So they sit on their phones. Stuff. He's sitting on his phone and as if he's like a power lifter, just throwing like 300 pounds over his head. And I'm like,
pounds.
You're like literally someone's father.
That's
doing
so
65
terrible.
pounds.
Oh, what an asshole.
So I don't think the story is accurate at all. I really don't. I think this is just something that someone made up.
I've ridden the exercise bike numerous times and never has it ever felt good. In fact, afterwards, your fucking crotch hurts.
Right. That's how
you get
I
off and you're like, oh,
yeah, because like
God,
I'm
ow.
tiny. Like we're both tiny individuals, so like that's the same thing. When I ride the bike, I'm like, ow.
Yeah, no,
This
it
is not
doesn't
nice.
feel good.
Going back to small penis guy, don't worry about your penis size because we can't even handle exercise.
Can't even
bikes.
handle exercise bikes, so you're
You
fine.
know? That's not even going in us. It's just we're on top of it and the shit hurts.
I don't see that as being real either. I've never heard of that happening. The exercise bike doesn't do that to me.
No.
It hurts, so I don't
Also,
think so.
too, if you know that this was an issue and you felt like embarrassed that you had to cover yourself with a towel and stuff, why would you then end the story with saying you want to like join the cycling class and get a cycle around the city and stuff? Because it's like, well,
yeah, this sounds like more of like a weird kink that someone has. So, or some dude who was like, oh, that girl behind me today was hot.
and like wrote like a
she was
fan
staring at my
fiction
ass.
like novel about it. Yeah,
She came while she was staring at my ass, thinking about wanting to smack it.
right.
I can't deny that. Smacking a nice butt's fine. So I don't know.
It is.
Smacking girls like a good butt. I feel like,
You know, I never liked butts until recently.
is it because you started squatting and you started noticing butts?
No. So I've always liked women's butts. Like I've always
Yes.
think if a woman has a nice butt, I've always been like, wow, like I want to just like touch it a little bit, you know? But like men,
touch your butt.
I've never cared. I've never cared about a men's butt. And then like I maybe it was when I started working out and stuff and seeing that it's like if you have a buff dude and they're nice legs and everything else, but no butt, it's like they unproportional.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is. And I
nice
guess it's because
little
like
bubble
now
butt.
I'm like, you know, more committed to like my health. So I see this stuff.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
Well, I think that I would like to hear from you guys in the comments too. If there are any other women that are watching, let me
Right.
know if you think that's real. Guys, also let me know if you think that's real.
Right.
This has been a really fun episode. Jenna, thank you so much for
Oh
doing
my God,
this.
this has been the best first podcast I've ever
Yay!
done. This has been such a fun experience.
Oh, I'm so happy that you did it. Nick was feeling sick today too, and he was like, "You're gonna have to get someone," and I was like, "Okay." And this was yesterday.
She texted me, so I just want to give you guys the backstory. Xia texted me. She's like, "Hey, can you come over even tonight, tomorrow, and do a little podcast or something?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I'm talking to my boyfriend. I'm like, "I gotta go record this podcast," sounding like I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just like, "Oh, I gotta do this thing, you know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it."
This podcast.
And he's
thing.
like, "What are you recording, Jen?" And I look at him. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna see when I get there and
I'll
like,
find out.
Yeah. I was like, I was just gonna show up.
I love that. You're just like, "Yep, I'm showing. I don't know what it is, but we're doing it."
I actually thought just to really surprise myself and test if I can like speak on the spot. I was gonna start the podcast without asking you what we were doing, but I didn't want to screw the whole podcast. So,
I mean, I
asked her right before we started recording, "What is this on? What am I talking
She
about?"
did. She came in and she's like, "So what are we doing?
What are we doing today?" But no, I was like, maybe I should test my talking skills and just like her click record and me have to like figure out what the podcast is about.
That would have been fun. No, you did amazing.
Thank you.
You did way better than some other people I've seen too. Way better than I did.
This is just giving a bunch of people on the internet advice, like like real life stories.
Yep.
My life has been a mess too. And like Xia can equally say, like our lives are kind of messy sometimes.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's like
that's how
this is easy for us.
how life works.
It's easy for
It's
us.
true. It's true.
Build character.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you liked it and you want to see more. We come out with these every week. If you're not following me on social media, it's at Xia_land on both Twitter and Instagram. Jenna, I should have asked you this before. Do you want anyone to follow you? You can plug your stuff.
You can 100% go and follow me. It's Jen Jam Basile. Let me spell that for you. JenJamBasile. That's basil, but with an E at the end.
That's how I should start
It's
saying
Jen
that.
Jam
Basil
with an E at the end. That's
Oh my
it.
God, that's how you have to say it.
That's how you say it.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.